Hello everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at the Monkey Kid Red Sun's Inferno truck set. 1,111, it's 1111 pieces for this one. Costs $120 in the US. Let's take a closer look at it and see if it's worth it. The set comes with a nice selection of minifigures. The truck is actually a two-in-one thing, but from what I've seen from viewers and commenters, there's more interest in the side builds, so let's take a look at those first. The Panda store is like a little convenience shop. It is a 6-stud by 14-stud building with extensions beyond that. The build for the signage is very simple, but very, very effective. It does rely very heavily upon stickers, but thank goodness those stickers do exist, because without them it would be relatively plain. This is really nice, really charming, and definitely draws a lot of real people in. I'm assuming it would draw people in universe as well, so minifigures. The ears are just done with pans around the back, so that's a really simple, or skillets around the back, so it's a very simple technique, but it works well. And there's a little TV antenna off to the side. I like the use of the teal color and the sand green, but it's probably these little stripes of the flame yellowish orange or orangish yellow color with the bright yellow or light yellow in between that really, I don't know, just add a little something special to the aesthetics of this building to me. I think the stripes really do it, especially. You know, it's just a nice little unnecessary but good detail. This is a security camera that's supposed to be used to watch over the ATM. The ATM says it is out of order right now. Interestingly, there's a trans green colored window piece inside of that tan window frame there for the screen, but it's not used that well because the sticker is not clear backed, so it's blocking some of that glorious green glow there. This does have an action feature built into it, so around the side here, this thing kind of looks like a exhaust pipe for something. That will knock this out. So the idea is that bad guys come along, they would either blow this up or they'd hook onto the top of it with, I don't know, maybe the hook on the back of a tow truck or something like that, just randomly. Just throwing things out there. But it would eventually get the ATM out, and what happens there is you just push on this and it knocks it out. What you're pushing against, though, so there you see that window right there, what you're pushing against is actually the security screen that can be viewed from inside. You see it's a wall mount unit, and it's just showing you what is on the what's on the camera, which presently is out, I'm assuming, because it was just blown up. But that just pushes like that. The inside of the shop doesn't have as much stuff in it as I initially expected, honestly, from looking at the exterior of it. But you got the checkout counter over here with enough space for a clerk to be back there. They got the little good luck golden frog on the counter there, and there's just a bunch of drinks. I guess they're not refrigerated. Well, here's a refrigerator that has frozen bananas in it. It looks like 2 of them. They're just white bananas, and then the top one is empty. So yeah, that's it for the interior. Not really a whole lot going on with it. Don't think I showed you the door all that well. These stickers are just on point. They're just really nice. The color scheme, the graphic design work done for this, I think, is excellent. And then we've got AC unit up here, and then this little side build is a side build to the side build, and it just has just some little packages outside. The frog looks like there's a lot of dampness in this area in general, so a lot of very bright greenery, and this small tree is nice as well. A nice little build with simple leaves used there in the nice lime green color. Brings a lot of life and vibrancy to the area. And that corner piece can hook up to other small buildings. It can also be removed. Got another takeout box, from what I understand, is what that's supposed to be. And here's how that separates out. So that's that. Very simple. Next up is the Tuk Tuk. And this is used as a delivery machine, in this case by Pigsy's Empire, for delivering his fresh food around the region. This one has a slightly different build than ones that they've done before. These are always well liked. Just have a slightly different nose for this one. And you got the pig build up on top to let you know the brand. You got to get the branding out there. That does use 2 of the printed eye pieces that are 1x1 plates, which were also used in Pigsy's food truck. This has 2 clips, one on either side, to hold on to minifig accessories. So, for instance, if the Monkey Kid is driving around in this, he can still bring along his golden staff. That is a sticker on the back there. In my personal opinion, by far the most interesting thing about this is the big steamer on the back. This also has an additional box and a takeout box on top of it. So that's just a little small one with the print on top of it. And this is actually empty, but I don't know why they didn't suggest you put anything in there. But look at this. Look at this steamer. This is so cool because of not just its size and shape, which is pretty perfect. I mean, that use with the hat on top of a dish piece there is very smart. But inside, this is so smart. They've got two different types of pieces that they used. They've got the whipped topping pieces for like frosting, and then they've got white frogs. And correct me if I'm wrong, but what they're suggesting here is two different types of steamed rice buns. Basically, you're looking at baozi there and xiaolong bao, if I'm not mistaken. So you got the more damp ones, the so-called soup dumplings, which would be represented by this, I think. And then you've got the more fluffy steamed ones. At least that's what I see when I look at this. And it's so cool. You could not do better in minifig scale, you know, for just little tiny items that can actually be held by minifigs. You can imagine them eating those. It makes me hungry to look at that and to think about it. And this is just so well done. All right, so let's look at the main thing. Well, technically it's main things. This truck is intended to be a tow truck, a gigantor tow truck for the Iron Bull clan, or whatever they're called as an entire group. It is quite wide. I mean, the size of this in the back is just kind of extreme relative to the cab. I mean, just looking at the cab and from most of the angles that we've seen in photographs, I kind of had an idea of how big this would seem in person, how big it would appear. And it's just more massive in the back than I thought. It feels a little bit shorter, honestly, than I thought in length, but the width just caught me by surprise. There is a lot of detailing here. There's a lot of this is built in interesting ways, in unexpected ways. I'll say that. And for the main truck here, again, it's built in two parts. We'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at the whole two-part thing. But the main truck uses some funky, interesting build techniques in ways that work out really well for the build process. It just makes it nice and smooth, makes it easy to get sub-assemblies together. And yeah, it was enjoyable. It was actually uses some Spike Prime Technic style pieces down inside to good effect for just the sake of simplicity. And yeah, a lot of this works out well. These are shooters back here. They're very simple. They just have a little plunger on the back and you just fire out a little thing. Yeah, just use that as a bomb. They've got storage for extra ones here on the top. You can also change the angle of this. And interestingly, it uses offset little joints in there, little mixels, ball joints. So as you rotate this, it's actually angling not just straight up and down. It actually turns a little bit in and out, just a slight bit. It's kind of weird, but it works. You've got storage down on the side, so you can hold on to like extra ammo or other small accessories. From higher up, you can see the center section has some storage space there. You could also load that up with troops, and they've got some implements of crime there. So dynamite and the golden crowbar and this thing over to the side. It looks to me like it would probably be used as either a detonator or just a drill, more likely a drill to create a hole to put dynamite in. There are also a couple seats back here. So one seat there, one seat there. One of them has a button. The other one has a console. It's actually just a typewriter. So I'm assuming that one of them is doing aiming and the other one is doing firing with these things or something like that. Also notice it's orange inside of there. It's nice just to kind of go with the whole idea of everything being about heat. And then there's an alternate driver's position over here with a steering wheel and all. And what that is all about is this moving back to there. So that's a funny look. Let me just do that again. Now you can see the whole thing together. So there we go. So that goes down and that goes up. So in either location, you can have a person driving inside of the cab. So the way that this is built, as a result, you can't take the roof off. Like every single Lego truck has a removable roof, right? This actually doesn't, because you don't remove the roof, you just move the entire cab. So if you want to get to this driver's position, well, now you can. If you want to get to this driver's position, well, now you can. This is also where the whole 2-in-1 thing comes into effect. So there's a plunger on the back. I'm just going to squeeze it in. and just knocks this out. This becomes essentially a giant Can-Am tricycle, or you can kind of see it as just a giant motorcycle for all intents and purposes. It has this one big Spike Prime wheel and tire back here. It's a heavy piece, really good quality rubber on that, and a lot of weight. That's just a good piece, generally speaking. The build for this was interesting as well. Used some unconventional building techniques. I'll talk more about that a little bit later on, but for now you can just see that there's not a whole lot going on with this. A lot of the build techniques suggested that there would be more transformations, but there aren't. So it is what it is. Just have a single driver's position there. It's an interesting use of the Metal Beard's beard again, as with all of these Iron Bull things. This time as a headlight surround for the single motorcycle style light, but you also have these in the front as part of the truck form of it. These are black colored phone handsets, old style phone handsets, not mobile phone handsets. You know, back when they had wires and stuff. Yeah, it's from back then. So yeah, it was a thing. Strange use of hinges, strange use of the dark azure color in there, which you can actually see a bit from some angles from the outside, but it's a thing. This rolls really, really well, and the bumpers are fairly strong, so they don't fall off too easily. Nothing on this falls off too easily. I'd say it's a pretty durable build, but this gives you two separate vehicles then, because you can still drive this one around. You've still got a driver's position in it. I personally kind of like the look of this. It's funky, little bit open on the underside there, but yeah, I like that. I think it works. There's also a 6-stud shooter underneath, which you can now use once the bike or trike is removed, and that's integrated in with the mechanism that pushes the bike out, or the trike out in the first place. So the plunger I talked about is this. Push it in, and then if you rotate it, then it shoots. I also have a couple more minifig accessories back here, and finally, for that shooter, this was unexpected, they put extra ammo down here. Never seen Lego hide away ammo like that, but it's still accessible. It's very interesting. I feel like the designer for this has not done a lot of things that I've seen or that I've built before. It really felt like a unique signature. Didn't follow the standard Lego conventions. Some of that worked out well. Some of it didn't work out so well, again, as I'll talk about more later. Here's Red Sun himself with his Iron Fist, this time set up with a flamethrower built into it. The printing on this guy is pretty good, and his hairpiece is interesting, has just a small paint application on it, and he does have for this season his own little kind of cape piece, that cloth piece that gets added on. Takes a couple folds in it, and yeah, works out pretty well. It's the old style of cloth, as it should be, you know, relatively thin and papery, and he does also have an alternate expression right there. Very evil, yet happy and sure of himself. Set comes with 3 of these bull clones, and if you've seen one, you've seen them all. They are identical, though they do have different names. The ones in this set are named Grunt, Roar, and Snort. Snort? Yeah, Grunt, Roar, and Snort. Can't tell the difference between them because, like I said, they're absolutely identical. I personally think these look good. Only the General looks different, has some different colors, but uses the same print and no print for the heads. Here's this set's version of the Monkie Kid, all set up with his Pigsy uniform, Pigsy company uniform, I guess. So that's got the unique prints on the front and the back. He does come with his full staff with the gold drum lacquered or painted pieces for the ends that are new for this year. And that's a pretty serious and good expression to offer up. Here's the other one where things aren't going so well. Here's May in just her regular civilian clothes. The printing for that one didn't work out as well as I thought. Like, it looks good from a distance, but then when you realize that yellow down at the base for the midriff is supposed to be skin tone, it's supposed to be the same color as her hand. Her hand's next to it. You can see that it's definitely lacking in opacity and strength of the print there. The print design, though, is nice. The color scheme overall for the torso, I think, is nice. Surprising to see yet another combination with teal, the recently resurrected teal, that works. Here using the bright spring green color. Got her green green/golden dragon with also the horses coming out of it, just kind of tying everything together from the lore source for this character and what she does. And this one also has an alternate face right there. And then here's the Panda Store employee. I have previously celebrated Lego putting hair pieces that were originally designed for male characters onto female characters where it looked perfectly fine. It just fit because not everybody has the exact same hairstyle, you know? So here they've taken a hairpiece that was originally designed for female characters and they put it onto a male head. So I think I should celebrate that similarly, just to be fair. I personally, I'm not as much of a fan of the look of this one, but hey, different people have different styles and that's okay. And it's Lego, so you can always change things if you don't like something. There's the alternate face for that one. I believe that is not a new head. We've seen that before, but it's just used in a different context with a Lego City/Creator uniform. You know, it was used for some of the fairground carnival stuff. So it also comes with this laptop/notebook for May. I call it notebook because it's literally a Lego book piece. It uses a sticker right there. That's the correct way. And uses a sticker inside, which is showing one of the other sets. I'm hoping that's supposed to represent a blueprint and not a model kit. Because if it is a model kit, then we've got some meta stuff going on that I'm not sure I approve of. Hopefully it's blueprints and it all just fits into the in-universe version of real life. But I actually like the design of this. It's something different. It kind of makes sense to me, especially when it's open. When it's closed, it looks more like just a plain book to me. But I appreciate the attempt to give us something different for tech. Here's one other side build if you must. It's a bicycle for the Iron Bulls. So I appreciate the comedy, the silliness, the ridiculous of that. You know, the bad guys, these super bad guys are terrorizing an entire town, possibly an entire nation. And they have their own evil branded bicycles. The nicest thing here to me is that they've included another of the once very rare black frames for bicycles. Here are this set's spares, leftovers, including some pretty nice little pieces and recent recolors. And there's a look at the spent sticker sheet. So you can see there were quite a number of stickers used in this, although a fair number of those were used on the convenience store, I think appropriately. All right, it's time for the talk. The talk. The talk about price and value. Because this costs $120 US for 1,111 pieces. So if you look at the price to part ratio, it's like, yeah, that is absolutely reasonable, especially when you consider that it comes with some fairly large pieces as well, like this boom part back here, the big wheels, which are actually 2 large pieces each, the main bulk of them, Spike Prime wheel back there, the tires, some decent sized plates here as well. This top piece, it does have a fair number of 1x1s as well, you know, little things. But overall, and then when you consider the number of figures that are here, on paper, it looks good. But to me, this is where I'm going to lose some folks, but oh well. To me, there's no way that this is worth $120. What I'm seeing here in front of me, there's no way it's worth $120. I would, if I didn't know the price of this and I was asked how much I would want to see this sold for, I would probably say like 80 to 90. And then I would look at the parts count and I'd be like, okay, that's being unreasonable. That's really what I would want it to be sold for, but okay, I'll give it 100. And that's feeling generous. Like I don't want to say 100, but I feel like I have to say it's worth 100 or would be sold for 100. So 120 is out of the range. You know, it's not close. It's not off by 5. It's off by a fair amount. And I'm not happy about that. Because people who want this are going to have to pay big bucks for it, at least unless it doesn't sell very well. And then you wait and ultimately it'll go 20% off and maybe it'll even go to 30% off. Then we'll be in the range. Then it'll be worth it. Then it'll make sense. I know that a lot of people looking at this want more than anything else this. So, or this, or both. Usually mostly this though, from what I've seen. So Lego should take heed and should make a series of little buildings like this, modern buildings. Just put them out in the city line, put them out in the creator line, do whatever you need to do. Overprice them a little bit, but let people get things like this without having to pay for all this. Because so many more people want things like this than all of this. So just offer them up. If you have to put them into existing lines, okay, Lego, you can do that. You can sell this as the Panda Shop in the Monkey Kid line. And then just sell all this stuff by itself. Folks who want all this bad guy stuff and this interesting transforming truck with the 2-in-1 feature and everything, they can buy that. They can, pay what? $70 for that? Something like that. I think would be reasonable. Then sell this for 20, or 25 even if you have to, I think. Probably would even sell for 30. And if you start putting this in, now you can really bump up the price. Put in a couple minifigures, you can get some serious cash out of that. People are willing to pay it because they like it. It's good stuff. But, all right, that's all wishful thinking. Let me talk a little bit more about this, and specifically a major mistake, a major fundamental design flaw, I think, in all of this that contributes significantly to it feeling overpriced to me. That all comes down to this right here. This thing. Again, you look on the underside, you see like hinges, straight up hinges. That's those bright, light yellow colored pieces. There are hinges there, and there are hinges from the top. Like it's nicely done hinging. They also have hinges that you can view from the sides and the top with the red line going through here, with stickers on the sides that are clipwise, clipwise hinges. And when you apply those, they are hinged, they move. But when you complete the construction of this, there's nothing else going on anymore. None of those hinges work anymore. They're all locked into place. They're all static. They're all part of a series of clever ways of assembling this together. And I feel like so much of the build of this is clever, is non-conventional, is strange, that it's completely unnecessary. Because ultimately all this is a motorcycle. Okay, it's a tricycle, but it's effectively one of those like Ninjago or whatever, Nexonites, etc., Chima, etc., oversized motorcycles. All this does is carry a person. Doesn't even have a shooter on it. Doesn't even have like clips to hold on to minifig weapons that can then be used as its weapons. It doesn't have a flip-up feature. It doesn't have anything but just wheels and a seat. It doesn't even properly have a seat. The person kind of has to hold on to the handlebars for dear life, and that's it. So many pieces. And this took a long time. This took me like a half an hour to build just this. It was so slow. I think it took me almost as long to build this little thing as the rest of the truck. That did not feel good to me. It did not feel right. So I think that if they had designed this simple like it should have been, weighing like a third as much as it does, because it's way too heavy. So many little pieces just stacked and stacked and stacked. And the more you look at it, the more you can see down inside of there, like all the changes of color and going between Technic and system and back and what. It's completely unnecessary. So I am vehemently opposed to the existence of this thing, and I feel like it really hurt the entire set. The same parts budget could have been used to make like another one of these, or to make the truck itself bigger and more fantastic. Just make this minimal, as it doesn't need to do much of anything at all, and just put all that parts budget into other things. With the same price, with the same parts budget, the same number of pieces, this could have been more worth it, I think, with just different design choices. I feel like there was a lot of like tour de force of a designer who we're not familiar with, is what I feel like, that went into this. That just went crazy with stuff, and it didn't work out well. Like a lot of the things are interesting. A lot of people will enjoy encountering these different techniques for the first time when they put this together. I personally didn't. So what? That's just me. But I can say for certain that the number of pieces that went into this, The complexity that went into this is not well placed. Should have been put elsewhere, and then maybe I would have been saying, hey, I would give this $110 for its size. But as it is right now, I'm not happy with the price. I think that overall the set is pretty fun. Just as it is, forget about the price, you know. Like all this stuff with the truck is good. This is seriously good. And I like the look of it. I like how it works, the playability. Yeah, all that's good. Figure selection is nice. This is great. This is very nice. Not quite as good as I thought, but I thought it was going to be like amazing. Like way better than it deserves to be. But no, it's as good as it deserves to be, and it's as good as it looks, I think. Could have used a little bit more detail on the interior, but that's easy to add in. So those are my thoughts overall. You can check out the pure build for this. You can check out the speed build for it. And, you know, when you're looking at the build of this, maybe you can come to some conclusions on your own of whether you think that in particular was worth it, worth all the effort that goes into it, and worth its contribution to the price of the entire set. Those are my thoughts overall. Feel free to disagree, of course, respectfully, or agree if you want. But I mean, I'm just here to show you the things and let you know how I feel about them. So I will continue to do the same. I'll bring you more reviews. I'll talk to you again soon.